Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Build live from Oak Hill Works. How are we all doing this evening? I hope you are well. And good evening Matt, welcome. Is it good to see your wagons again? So, since last week these wagons have had some work. Shh, don't tell anyone I did stuff off stream. All they've had is the sides have had a coat of gloss varnish to help with the transfers. That's all. Nothing else. Born in Vietnam. You know what, James? I think that's genuinely what I had watched the night before I first did that intro. So, you know, it could well be that which has inspired my now famous intro. Keep hearing this awful scraping noise coming from one of my generic coaches. Do you think I should look into it? Yes, definitely. So, my generic coaches do not scrape. So have a look around, see if anything is touching it. As Matt says, could be a brake block rubbing on the tyre. Have a look around it, see if there is anything where it shouldn't be on the bottom around the wheels, etc. So yes, I'm actually going to move the camera because whilst I set it up for a nice shot, it was in a really awkward place for me to be doing any work. Only scrapes when it's going around corners. Okay. How much play? So there's no play in these wheels, really. More up and down than there is side to side. I can't see anything that would be doing it, but how tight are your corners would be the next question. Kittens, you should get some kittens in response to that, James. The bot is loaded. Yeah, there they are. Kittens in response. He's just being slow. So yeah, wagons. Pickups rubbing if you have lights. No, the Hornby generics don't have pickups. The lights in them are battery powered, so it won't be that. I approve of loaded bots. Indeed, loaded bots are the best bots. I thought I'd best let you know that one should get a response since you've done so many commands already this evening, James. So, wagons. The sides need their transfers. The underframes need building, and obviously the bodies need putting together. That is what these need to get them done and get them shipped off back to Matt. All nicely in one piece. I'm also going to put some varnish on this one at some point because it looks like it could use it. A tip with POWSides for those who get them pre-lettered, which obviously is an option for most but not all of their kits, is even the pre-lettered ones, as soon as they arrive, varnish them. Otherwise, they will come off. 18-inch radius, I think I definitely need to replace them, but my current layout space is too small too, so I hope to start construction on my new layout this week. I mean, I would expect they should be fine on an 18-inch radius. Four-wheelers, decent gap for the couplings. I don't see why that should cause an issue for those particular ones. I've somehow got these the wrong way round. That's clever of me, isn't it? Good job I know it's these bits that are the wrong way round and everything else is fine, isn't it? First class one. Yeah, there's... If it's only the one, that's even weirder. It's not your layout if it's only the one doing it. So yes, we have transfers to play with. So this is for George Giles of Hailsham and Heathfield. and you can see the template on here matches up very nicely with the sides of the wagon. It also includes a set of numbers down the side so you can have a different numbered wagon. Even though I hope the new job is rewarding, Gary. I mean, I am being paid to sit and talk about trains with people all day, Bob. It's absolutely fantastic. And how are you this evening? I hope you are well. I rather like the look of your canopies on Cambrian Street earlier. They were very nice. It doesn't have it written on there. I thought it did for a second there. I don't think these have the transfer instructions I wanted to show you. No, that is just the Slater's instructions. I'm sure one of these had some how to use water slide instructions for me to show you. How to use rub-on transfers for me to show you. That is the same. That one doesn't either. Interesting. I was sure one of them did. Never mind. Hid in a sweet shop indeed, Bob. Ah, they're on the back of here. That's why. So painting the sides, making sure we're in low humidity. Track isn't level. I think that has a say in it. It could do, Benji. It could do. Working under good light on a hard, smooth, white surface. White surface. Yeah. Not mauve, James. White. It's in the instructions. You want your transfer held over there and taped over if you can, so that your markings on the corners and the bottom are lined up, and the bottom one has a little bit coming off there for you to make sure you are lining up with the centre as well. That's the one I want. Yes, that is the one I want. I've got two of these big ugly brushes. And so then you rub the letter in with a smooth rounded blunt instrument, i.e. the wrong end of a paintbrush. Lift the carrier film, peeling back from one end. If any, as you're peeling it off, it's quite common that you'll start peeling it off and you'll see the transfer is coming up with the sheet. You can just put the sheet back down and rub it again and then lift again. So you do it slowly, you do it carefully, you take your time. And then you can, it says here afterwards, push it down anywhere you need it to fit in the planking of the wagon, etc. And varnish once it's on, which amazingly is the bit that POWSides seem to forget on the ones they do themselves to send out. I don't know why. It says we're not using any softening agent or anything else. We are just using what we have here. Transfers, the wagon side, the brush. That is it. And as it says, another important note here, faulty products will be replaced free of charge. POWSides are nice like that. So you've all seen the instructions now. So looking forward to seeing transfers being applied. As I've just ordered some rub dry transfers from Roxy. Excellent. I did not know Roxy did dry rub. I can read properly, honest. It's not that late that I shouldn't be reading properly already. I didn't know Roxy did dry rub transfers. We need new mauve-based instructions. No, James, we need white. White is the right colour. Used to have a transfer book like that, Spaceships and Rockets as a kid. Excellent. I used to have some aircraft kits I used to buy that had transfers like this. I have no idea what make they were, but they existed. That's a start. Where did I put my masking? I had some masking tape here earlier. There it is. Masking tape. Like to finish the contest, have enough money to buy 2 brake coaches. Might buy an extra coach. But seeing that I have other hobbies that could use some attention, cough, cough, RC planes. Excellent. Excellent. I approve of more coaches. I also approve of RC planes. I have a 110 Spitfire somewhere. Roxy SRPR wagon, SR wagon, Southern Carriageways, and there's rub down transfers. Interesting. I did not realise that. So I am going to remove the side from the sprue now. I've come home with loads of stuff from the shop this week, and yet not a cutting mat. You'd think that would have been top of the priority list for me to buy, wouldn't you? But no, apparently not. I have, however, come home with some brass that's nice and thin and easy to bend. So there's that. We can get the roof done for that South Eastern and Chatham carriage now. And when I say now, I of course mean after all the things that I've been sent are done. Let's get everyone else's projects out the way. I've even got, from the shop, a pair of Hornby Class 60s in need of repair. So the question here is, would the people of YouTube land want to see a video on diagnosing faults and repairing some Hornby Class 60s? I won't do both of them on video, but I'm happy to film one of them. I'll be doing it at the workbench. Could be interesting, says Linny. That sounds like some approval for the idea. Are these your 60s or one from shop customers? They are shop customers. They have been bought in for repair. And the repairs service has already made known that that anything bought for repair may find itself the subject of a video. No, I'm not happy with how that's stuck on there. This one is a bit too low down. So we shall adjust that. Wave page doesn't look like a whole sort as whole channel people. It's. Oh, I've not even got the positioning right yet, Lenny. It's too high now. But yes, I see what you're saying. Whole channel people fixing old logos, done low bills. I expect at least some would find it interesting. Okay. You might want to wrap the paper around the sides. Yeah, I think you're right. I do think you are right there. I'd watch it. Excellent. Okay, well, so I shall be having a look at them at some point tomorrow. So I will see about filming one of them. Bet for you working in a more job similar to myself, working in horticultural nursery, really failing to come home with something, resisting everything but with temptation. Well, so far, Bob, I've not been very good at resisting. I have come home with something every day. So there's that. It would be nice to be a bit better at resisting temptation, but it's not going to happen. Repairs and improvements with Gary. Well, at this stage, only repairs. Scissors. Scissors would be sensible. Then we can cut these into 2 separate transfer sheets. So yeah, I have 260s sat up on, they're on top of the spray booth at the minute, waiting to be repaired. So I will happily do a video about those. Sensible scissors. Oh, mate, got to use scissors properly. Always use PPE. That's what my new bottle of chemicals tells me. It actually says use PPE on the side of it. So yeah, as I say, this is... It is great to work in an environment and a job you love. It is indeed, Bob. Will you do a video about repainting them into NSE blue? No, no, Linny. No, I will not. Just no. Why would you even say that? So that looks like that needs to go a bit further in this direction. And to be a bit tighter. That looks better. If you recover from the NSE overload in my video yet? Yeah, James, your video was fantastic. I love all your videos, and the way you narrate them is always so good. I can deal with the NSE because of it. And good evening, Red. Welcome. How are you? You have missed basically nothing, which is good for you. I read some instructions and taped some transfers to the side. Hydration is important, everyone. Spent ages getting the filter curve right to sound like a recording from the early 1960s, and you did a fantastic job of it, James. Right, so at this point you use the back of your paintbrush and you start rubbing away on the transfers. I can already see them going across onto the wagon. I doubt that's coming up on the camera. It's definitely not looking at the preview on the screen. But yeah, I can see the colour changing on them as they detach from the transfer sheet. And just move that bit away from it as they attach to the wagon. It's all about the low mid tones apparently. I will take your word on that, James. I have not played with it. What's the advantage of rub on over water slide? You can't see the carrier film once they're on, basically. Useful American term is young. That is a useful American term of gender neutralness. I find water slide much easier to use. I don't have a problem with any type of transfers personally. 588 can't play some submarines. Excellent. Good to hear. You are good. I still find water slide easier things like I'm much happier press fix for lettering with some practice. As I say, I don't really have a preference transfer wise. They're all good in their own way. Right back, going to go look at some actual engineer figures. Okay, Ben, have fun. You'll. Okay, and so I can already see if I take this bit of tape off, we have a lettered wagon. Now, I'd like to be clear that I did not rub down these numbers on the end here, but they've just come off. Thankfully, they have not. Look, the guide marks have come off and everything. Thankfully, they have not actually gone down properly where they haven't been rubbed, so I can just pick them off. But that would be rather irritating. If they had gone down properly. That must just be that I squeezed them a bit too tight on that end there as I was taping them up. Say the corner markings for guiding it into position have done the same. But with these type of transfers, until they are varnished, they are nice and easy to get underneath and remove. Is use my duster to get the remnants of that one off my fingers. Good evening, Richard. How are you? I hope you are well. Let's get that lot in the bin. So yes, there is one side done. We shall now get the other side done, stick some varnish on them, and get the ones on the other wagon done. There, that's where I put it. Good, thank you. Excellent, glad to hear it. So again, we'll put this upside down on here. There's one of the corner guides coming off on me already. So that is obviously how those numbers came off. Do believe time to break out the improved engine green paint. Excellent, Linny. I like that idea. Good evening, folks. Hope you're all well. Good evening, Rob. How are you? I hope you are well as well. I am very well, sir. Don't do that. So that is too low on this side. That is fine. I can see those numbers on the side have already started to attach themselves to the wagon. Right, that looks lined up much better now. Marvellous, thank you, Gary. Looking forward to another Sunday of modelling magic with your good self, sir. Good. Well, thank you for the compliment, Rob. It is great to have you here, as always, for a night of modelling magic. Oh, I like that term. So I don't talk much tonight. Currently trying to finish off my J36. Well, the J36 is much more important than talking, Richard. So do not worry about it. I look forward to seeing some pictures on Discord at some point. That's better. So, as with the first side, just the blunt end of the paintbrush. And rub down the transfers. It fits the buffer beam number and a name is finally stuck down. No need to worry about it slipping off. Excellent, Richard. Excellent. And there's the bot. What is the bot saying? The bot is saying, did you know I have a Twitter account? It's where I do Twitter stuff. It is my most active social media. And other than this Discord, the best way to contact me outside of the live stream. So go follow me over there. I think I now actually have more subscribers on here than I have on followers on Twitter, which is a bit weird. I never thought that would happen. What? Yes, I do. Excellent, Richard. Oh, look, there we go. That's taken off the corner marking for me. Wasn't that helpful of it? Back. Hello, back. I am Gary. How are you? I thought it was Ben, not back. Right, let's get these excess transfers off. You'd think I'd know where there it is. One day, I will learn to put the stuff back where it's supposed to go. Yeah, sorry, Ben, I'm a parent. I have to make terrible jokes. You never heard of dad jokes before? But there we go. That is... Unfortunately, I've had many dad jokes. And there we go. That is both sides for George Giles of Hailsham and Heathfield done. The joke wasn't that bad. I found it funny. Excellent. Thank you, Richard. I very much appreciate that. So the next step, as I said, is varnish. And because we're doing this wagon for matte, we will of course be using matte varnish, which needs to be shook really well with this Humbrol stuff. Yeah, that's the one we want. That's very nice. Thank you, Ben. So the idea here is we varnish these sides, we leave them to dry. Whilst we've got the varnish out, we will varnish the Clark Sharp & Co wagon. Oh, I made a dad joke about that in the Thursday video as well. for those that enjoy dad jokes. Then we will leave these to dry. So whilst they dry, we will get the transfers onto the other wagon. Go away, there's a bit of free there. So that means we have now done water slide, press fix, and rub down transfers on the live stream. It's almost like we're meeting my original goals of wanting to show off lots of different methods for doing things. Almost. We obviously have to make sure this goes down nicely and covers everything evenly. Luckily, whilst it's still wet, it's got a bit of a shine to it that is slightly more than the shine of the gloss coat they had as preparation for this. So I can see where is and isn't covered. And as I say, this one needs a coat of varnish because these transfers are also liable to lift. So we will give this wagon a coat of varnish. It also, if we get a chance, needs its inside painting, which we shall use some rail match sleeper grime to do because that gives us a look of dirty wood. Sorry, lost connection. What are you applying, Gary? We are applying some Humbrol matte varnish, Bob, just to seal in the transfers and make sure we don't lose them. Which you can see this one actually has on the ampersand. So what we all got on the workbench this evening? There's Red asking the important questions. What does everyone have on their workbenches this evening? It is always interesting to know. He beat me to asking by an hour. Got my B1, which is getting its first coat of paint. Excellent. I approve of B1s getting their first coat of paint. I'm going to do the ends of this wagon as well, so we get a nice even finish. I will do the ends of the other wagons after they have been built. In fact, I'm also going to do the underframes. I meant to do those at the same time, so we really do get a nice even finish over everything. My parcels platform, excellent, Bob, excellent. But an engage Mark 1 RU to a Mark 1 RBR. So you could just tell me you've done that and I'd believe you, because I have no idea. And adding carriage lighting, excellent. Probably more worthwhile by your era. I imagine the lighting in Mark 1s was slightly more visible from the outside than the oil lamps had been. Nothing as per usual. Oh, I don't know, Alex. Terrible. Terrible. I assume you're playing Train Sim again. With plus, I have a bandsaw that sits on the floor, and I'm building a low bench to get the table part of the saw up to my other workbench height, all in the living room. Very nice, Andy. Very nice. Fluorescent light in my era, yeah, I expect that's a lot more visible than oil light. Building a building. Excellent, Tom. And welcome. How are you? I hope you are well. No modelling this evening after building the crocodile yesterday. Fair enough. See, everyone's going to think you're talking about a locomotive again. Modern lots of 4, 5 and 8 plank LSWR wagons. Oh, how very nice. They sound splendid. That's what we're doing. Playing this stupid game. It's my life, sadly. As long as you're happy doing it, Alex. Besides the aforementioned submarine squads and small scenic bits for my layout, the Raven A2, I've been sporadically adding updates on the Discord and a Space Marine Scout Transport. Ooh, excellent. Ooh, it's sighted noises. Oh, it's sighted noises, yes, because LSWR wagons. I do plan to light my layout so it's dark at night. Layout time. Excellent, James. I have plans similar. So Space Marine Princess Tank, I've not gotten around to for over a year. Only a year, Red. Put it down. How dare you start working on it after only a year? Heart happy, what does that feel like again? Happy feels like when they release nice pre-grouping Midland stuff for Train Sim, Alex. And narrow gauge stuff, obviously. Trying to fix a couple of locos that are missing handrails. Wish me luck. Good luck, Richard. Have fun. There's a corner mark in there, and there's a 3 on my leg. Happy feels like cake tastes. Of course, James. I'm not. No, I didn't think so. Right. That is the brush cleaned. And a reminder for everyone that, in fact, hydration is important. Added some lamp irons earlier, and that was fiddly work. It sounds it, Richard. It sounds it. I know it is. I've done it enough times. So yes, time to get on with the other wagon. And there is the bot wanting to remind you that hydration is in fact important still. It obviously doesn't keep up with what I'm saying. Either that or my body has got so used to when it says that I just know before it says it. Land parts are apparently fits onto my A2 soon. Handrails are awful too. I mean, all small details are awful to add, but they're great to see. So it's a trade-off. Once you've added them, you don't have to do it again and you can enjoy them. In Lamp Irons is no different in O-Gauge. Still fiddly. Good evening, Tom's Modelling Corner. How are you? I hope you are well. I can imagine it is. I've never actually done anything proper modelling wise with O-Gauge, although I do, well, I say that, I've got a half built A4, but I've not got the lamp irons on it yet, so I'll take your word on that. So, yes, next Perkins transfers. So again, we're going to cut into 2 sheets. So we've got one for each side. Great when they're on, and if you have lamps you can swap around, they look great. Well, yes, that is true, Richard. Really good, thanks, chat. How are you? I am very well, thank you. I am glad to hear that you are. Also got some more detail parts to do, like cab details, the condenser pipe, the superheat cap valve thing that sits behind the chimney, brake rod, and various other gubbins. So at least you know what you need to add, Red. That is always the first hurdle to pass. So we can see here we are lining up by the bottom ones. The top ones are miles off the top of the wagon. Luckily, I already knew that to be the case, because I checked these things in advance. I would love someone to pretend to be shocked that I checked something in advance. No, I wouldn't. I'd love you all to pretend not to be shocked that I checked something in advance, because I know it doesn't sound very like me. You're all there now thinking, wait, he plans things? Yes, yes, I do. Wow, that's shocking. Oh no, I've got an R on my finger. That is not where that R is meant to be. The good news is, if stuff like that happens to you and it is irreparable on a POWSides wagon, POWSides will replace the part for you quite happily. Oh, that got it off. No, don't stick back to it as I'm pushing you back into place. How are you with applying lining transfers? I've got to do some for my current project. Lining transfers are easy. Much easier than painting lining. Yeah, we've done lining transfers on the stream before, and I've never really had a problem with them. They can get a bit fiddly, but they're not too bad. Which your optimism. Took a long time to get this optimism, don't worry. Much practice was required. Don't do it, it's doing it. It's annoying. It's back where it's meant to be. I'm doing this all on the centre marking at the moment, so in a second we're going to turn it over and check it as we have been. I want to lift this end up slightly. Now we're going to move the iron. We're going to move the I and the R afterwards. Are you a part of the Brighton Circle? I am indeed a member of the Brighton Circle. I have had several articles published in the Modeller's Digest. I got mentioned in the new newsletter for members. And I've got 2 more articles coming up in the next Modeller's Digest. Are you a member of the Brighton Circle? Good evening, Heritage Railway Productions. How are you? I hope you are well. There we are. With those done, we'll remove the extra ones and get the I under the R where they're meant to be. No, I was going to originally might do Sunday. It's a good organisation to join. Lots and lots of knowledgeable people. I'd highly recommend it for anyone wanting to model the Brighton. Brighton Circle sounds like a secret society. It's very secretive, Bob. Yes, you're quite right. I should peel those numbers off before doing that, shouldn't I? Started off with the intention of building the WSCI and O-gauge and have an E1. Excellent. E1s are great locomotives. I'm surprised you didn't start off with a Terrier, since they're available ready to run. I'm an overseas member of the Brighton Circle. They will have me. Indeed, you are. I saw your name mentioned in the new members thing. And I do believe I've seen you send emails occasionally, Andy, on the email group. Nick's wants to say hello, apparently, staring intently at the screen. He keeps pouring at Gary's hands. Hello, Nix. Welcome. Good to have you here. That's me going to head off for the night, Gary. Good luck with the transfers. Hope it goes well for you. Okay, good night, Richard. Thank you for coming by. I hope your modeling's not stressing you out too much. Sleep well and all that. We're going to get some varnish on this one straight away with how well those transfers have gone. And there is that side done. Ready for us to put together. Maybe later, maybe next week, who knows. So there is that done. We have just one more side to get the transfers on. And then we can get on with actually seeing about building them, provided they're all right to work with. I have decided I'm going to do this side in the way I did the first ones rather than the way I tried that last one, because it went really well. Might, however, stick some tape on the edges of it first. So that when we fold it over, we've already got the tape there to stick it with. See, occasionally I think about things. Very occasionally. God, I can't even get underneath it to bend it. And there we go, look at that, that one's even lined up quite nicely for us first time. Been a subscriber for a while, glad I got to join in tonight's stream. Well, it is always good to have people here, especially new faces in the chat. I always love it, so it is great to have you here and you've been able to join in. How do you find Hornby Stroudley coaches? With a little bit of work done to them, they are fantastic. No, this end's a bit high actually. Me praising that we'd got it in the right place there. So yeah, with a small amount of work, as we did a couple of weeks ago on the live stream, where we've got 3D printed footboards and wheels and sprung buffers and proper couplings and actual Stroudley grab rails. They're great. Dapo's making some too. Can't wait. Yes, the Dapo O-gauge ones are going to be fantastic. Though they really want to be for the price. I have an O-gauge Terrier. I'd love to get some put behind it, but I can't justify it since they are just a shelf model. Oh, for me anyway. I don't have anywhere to run my O-gauge. So I really cannot justify that much on some carriages. Yours looks fantastic. Thank you, Tom. There is going to be a video coming out showing how to do the work, as well as the live stream we did the other day. So there's no need to go back and watch the live stream to see it all. It's just finding the time to do it. Now that I'm apparently the busiest man in the world. Why an O-gauge Terrier without a layout? It sits on my bookshelf in my living room, James, and looks pretty. And just like that, the wagon is done. You know what I said earlier about remembering to put things back so I know where they are? I've not learned yet. One day soon, hopefully. And thank you for the donation, Bob. That is very much appreciated. That will go into the stream funds to help to buy more projects. I'll make sure to take it to the shop with me on Tuesday. And good evening, Stephen. Thank you. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. Good to have you here with us as we work on the wagons again. I'm going to be a bit more careful shaking that, as that was just... That apparently has some varnish on the outside that it's just covered me with and sprayed all over my trousers. How nice of it. Yes, trouser varnish. Not the ideal place for it. I'm always pro O-scale. Any sense my layout 16 foot by 11 foot, fine for me in O-scale. Yes, a good size. If I don't have that much space for it, unfortunately. Okay, I'm on the Archer Rutvic transfers again. So slowly going insane then, Stephen. Just when you think it's all going to go smoothly. No, I never expect everything to go smoothly here. Never. If you come here expecting competent modelling, you're in the wrong place. Sorry for that, eh? Shiny pants. No, they're not shiny, Andy. This is a matte varnish, so no, they will not be shiny. He hopes. Oh, I'm sure it'll all come out. And there we go. That is the last side transferred. Driving me dotty. Very good, Stephen. Very good. I'll put that over there out the way. And that for now. Definitely thinking about building an O-scale layout as well. I can see the appeal of it, Rob. I don't have the space. So New Oak Hill will be 12 foot by 18 inches. And that really is as big as I can do. Fine with a bit of weathering. Everything's fine with a bit of weathering. Do you ever use microsole or set? Not on rub down transfers like these, no. Nice, the trousers. I assumed so, James. I assumed so. The worst bit is they're covered with bits of transfer as well. Maybe now those transfers will be stuck on my trousers forever. It's better. Getting high on microseconds Archer transfers. Oh. I tell you, I have not actually used any solvents or stuff that give off fumes since being in the studio here. I'm wondering what that's going to be like actually, because obviously it's quite small. So although look, my hands are... So there's the wall, obviously. And you can see my hands, and if I sit like this, my back is now against the other wall, and you can still see my hands. So when I start filling this place with fumes, I'm going to get high very quickly, aren't I? Topped my joggers once. Excellent. I'll make sure to get some special modelling trousers. It's the only issue I gauge size, the cost. So it'll be a compromise between thinking of modelling the East London line, LBSCR and GER together. Sounds excellent, Rob. And of course, with your ability to create and print stuff, you shall do well. I am going to refill the hydration vessel. Or an apron. Well, yes, there is that. Good evening, Alexander. How are you? I hope you are well. Do not be sorry for the delay. So yes, hydration is important, everyone. Remember, ventilation is important too. Indeed it is, Bob. Which is why at some point we're getting some extractor fans and stuff in here. But that's so that I can paint them, 3D print and stuff safely. Right. I'm going to put that one away for now. I'm going to get this paintbrush out. And so I can hold this by the wheels and we can give the inside a coat of sleeper grime, which you would think I would have got out in advance. But this is, you know, where you expect me to be prepared again, and I point out that if you come here expecting competent modelling, you're in the wrong place. Sleeper grime on rail match. Extractor fans, aren't they people who use to like agricultural equipment? Yep, that's them, Linny. Looking forward to your 3D printing, Gary. Thank you, Rob. I'm looking forward to getting some done as well. I've got to get an underframe drawn up for that ballast wagon I'm doing. Just someone's watching the Radio Times. Oh, who knows? Maybe that'll work. John Deere, this is the wrong place for competent modelling. What's the right place? I have no idea. Far away from Oak Hill Works. Joking about the microset, but modelling space where you can't use mech, or then it sounds a bit frustrating. Will the extract fans be up to the job? Hopefully. Do you prefer to airbrush or paint by hand? I prefer to airbrush. At the moment I can't because of the ventilation thing. So whilst I joke about my ventilation, I do have, on this side of me, past the light, there is the door, which is open and goes directly. I have the back door directly outside that, so I can get to it. So I can get to it for ventilation. All I have to do is open it. And then if I move my bin out the way quickly, and turn that light on, you can see that down there I also have a vent through the wall on the other side of me. So I do have ventilation that goes right through the room. But I aim on improving it because you can't have too much ventilation. Oak Hill, isn't that where Bodget and Silver are based? Exactly. It is indeed. So yeah, I am set up with basic ventilation at the moment, in that I've got air flowing through the room. But I would like something a bit more advanced than that for when I'm brushing, using solvents, etc. Ventilation is a must with resin 3D. With resin 3D printing, that stuff reeks. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Which is why I haven't used the printer yet. Even though, sorry I wasn't in earlier, it appears to have been a fire on our street. Oh no, I hope everyone is okay. Resin loves clothes, it never wants to leave. No, that's very true. That's very true indeed. But yeah, I've avoided the temptation to go and use the 3D printer by not buying resin for it. So even if I get tempted to run something off quickly, and I have lots of things I want to run off, I can't because I don't have any resin to put in it. And so once the ventilation in the room is sorted, I will do that. The wagon is to have a full load of coal, no need to paint more than the top few millimetres. Oh, but I don't know if the wagon is to have a full load of coal or not. These are being built for someone else. So I will give the whole thing a coat of sleeper grime as a base, because it gives you that dirty wood effect, and if they then they can weather it down further and add a load if they so choose. But yes, if you're going to have a wagon with a permanent load in it, you really don't need to paint more than the first 2 planks or so. That's actually completely dry on the outside there. Why do you have a 3D printer that you're not going to use? I am going to use it once I've got the ventilation in. I bought it when I bought it because I could get it cheap. And so now's getting the room ready to use it, and then I can use it. 3 years ago, top 2 floors burned off the building across my street. We had to stay elsewhere. Ouch. Weak at the knees. What do you think of Hornby's upcoming release of the SECR E2? I think it's really odd that they chose that as the livery to put it in. I was expecting them to reuse the tooling now that they've lost the rights to Thomas. But I was expecting them to release it in one of the liveries the E2s actually wore to start with. Probably Southern or BR. Very strange that they went for SECR. They only recently finished the rebuild. Ouch. So that really did do some damage then. Will it be an SECR livery? Yes, that is it, Rob. They are releasing their old Thomas E2 moulding in SECR livery. At least they made it easy for people to make an actual E2 using its base mock-up. I think almost flogging a dead horse with the territory with the ex-Thomas stuff. I quite agree, Matt. There must be plenty of old E2 models around second hand. Well, yeah, there are, and so I've got two of the old E2s. One that's been done up into the extended tank version using a conversion kit from Shire Scenes. Both of them cost me less than £20. And one of them was DCC fitted for that price. I was expecting them to use the Thomas mould, as it's more like the ordinary E2 is long gone. Well, yeah, it is the Thomas mould, because that was modified from the original E2. Let's see, LBSR Gibbs Black E2 RTR. Well, yeah, ideally. Right, that is ready that we can work with it now. So we can get this wagon built up. Not a new tool in the E2. No, no it is not. Which is, you know, for them to do as they wish. I think I knew they were going to reuse it. I just think they've done it in a very weird way. Never enough E2s. Apparently the market needs to be flooded with terrible models of a terrible logo. Oh, I'd love to disagree with you, Alex, but you're so right. Finally, the Hornby made the E2s in Southern Green back in the day. Yeah, they picked some strange liveries for those in the past. Very strange liveries indeed. And of course, now they're just getting even stranger. I do wonder if someone... Actually, no, I don't wonder if someone at the top of Hornby's lost the plot. What am I saying? One does not need to wonder about that. It's coming from someone. Well, and it... I mean, the thing is, Red, he's right. It was a terrible logo, and it's not the greatest place to start from. I was watching Line of GT. Looks like you've been busy this evening. Not a problem, Matt. Yes, so we've got transfers on both wagons. They have had varnish. This one has been varnished, so the transfers actually stick rather than starting to peel off, because that's what POWSides kits do, and it's had a coat of paint on the inside. Is it bad that I see everyone go on about Line of Duty all the time and I've got no desire whatsoever to watch it? All the bits cleared off of there. I'll do the same to this side. There to go. There we go. There we go. I've never seen it. Eva also have no intention to. Never watched it either. Excellent. I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one. Right, basic IG livery applied. Well, first coat anyway. I'll probably put another coat on before taking any photos. Excellent, Linny. I look forward to eventually seeing these. Clark Sharp one, I may end up repainting bits that fell off once I get them back. Yeah, it's a shame it lost as much as it did, but as soon as POWSides wagons arrive, if they're the pre-transferred ones, I always apply a coat of varnish to them instantly. And then because I found too many just get damaged through just general handling. Is TV in colour yet? Last time I checked it was, yes, Bob. It's been a while, I must admit. I use my TV, but not generally to watch TV, if that makes sense. Broke off a printed lamp iron with a paintbrush. That shows how fragile they are, doesn't it, Linny? Hydration is important, everyone. So yes, next job is build the wagon, put the sides together, add the floor, do the underframe like we did last week. And then we will touch up the corners of the wagon body paintwork. Just need a bit of black, and then and paint the chassis black at the same time. And then we can do the other one. We are now at 10:30, so it is of course time for me to ask what everyone is up to this evening. Please do tell. You know I do love hearing it, even if you are one of those who told us earlier. I still want to know. Where do I put it? There it is. I put it in the right. Put it away. What are your tips for applying satin or gloss varnish successfully? Lots of mixing beforehand. Always make sure it is very, very, very well mixed. Ideally spray rather than brush. Although I find I get a good finish from the Humbrol brush painting ones as well. Making sure you've got good coverage but not too thick. Don't know what else to say. Drinking tea is always good for something to be doing. Fitting carriage lighting pickups, excellent. What I'm doing is sitting in bed watching this stream. Excellent, Red. I approve of that. You have a 2-plank O-gauge wagon kit. Oh, very nice. Well, I've just been browsing elsewhere and I'm much taken by a translucent green Gladstone. Oh yes, Linny's Gladstone is very nice looking, isn't it? Appreciate it, thank you. Not a problem. Relaxing after well needed day trip to the Romney Hive Dibchurch with some friends before work tomorrow. Excellent, Matt. I have been making plans to go down there recently. Hopefully it won't be too long before I can. So, good news, everyone. For those that haven't heard, I work in a model shop now. So, I've got some actual poly cement and stuff. We didn't have any precision applicator stuff in stock. So I'm going to do this in the same way I do super glue. But I do have some actual solvent to use. And I can smell that already. Watching the master get at work, green tea and biscuits. I approve of green tea and biscuits, Bob. I also approve of watching me. And apparently, so do quite a few others. I'm really impressed by the numbers we're getting in tonight. Figuring out next steps on the bandsaw. Base blade came out a little low. Better low than too high, I guess. Well, yeah, I suppose so. Lucky guy. Yeah, I do feel very lucky when I go into work at the model shop. I'm not going to lie. The secret is to go in and spend money constantly for years until the owner gets to a point that he needs staff and just be like, I'll do it. That's the trick. For those wondering, yes, that really is how it went down. Unfortunately, where I live, all the best model shops have closed down. That is a shame. So the current owner sounds as though you're effectively working in exchange for goods rather than money. No, I have brought home something every day, but it has always been less than the value of my wages. Sometimes only just, but yeah, I am also getting money. And since it's a second job essentially, I've still got my old job paying the bills. The intention was very much that working at the model shop would boost my modelling budget and allow us to buy more stuff for doing on stream. So going in there and being able to just pick up things as and when I need them is very handy. When I do get into a hobby shop, I always get something, even if it's just a magazine. Yeah, I mean, I would love to say that's true for me, but when the current owner took over this model shop 7 years ago, my office was in the building on the opposite side of the road. So I went in every day on my lunch break, hang out and chat and browse the second hand. I would have bankrupted myself if I was doing it every day then, but I still spent a good amount of money in there. Go arrange a coach trip and arrive on at the model shop. I will look forward to seeing you there, Bob. It will be great. Boost selling techniques too. I'm not too bad at sales, especially in a captive audience like that. Boosted modelling budgets are the best sort of modelling budgets. Exactly, James. Better to have someone who knows what they are talking about. Well, yes, this is true. And the last person working behind the till in there, what has never been a modeller. So I like to feel I'm an improvement in that sense. Whether I am or not's a totally different matter. But I'd like to feel I am. Look at that, just dropping straight down into place. Okay, it might have pushed the side of the corner apart a little bit, but still. Same working nursery, percentage of wages go back in the tills. Well, yes. It's always good to work somewhere you enjoy what you're doing, what it is, your product. That's the word I was after. See, I do know English. Improved engine seller. Yes. Very yes. No, don't come off again. Corner really doesn't want to stick, does it? Let's leave that to set for a minute. What do you think of the terriers in LSWR and SECR liveries? I think they look gorgeous, especially the SECR one. In fact, at the moment, the only terrier on Oak Hill is in SECR livery. This one was on the layout, but it's in here forming a back scene for the stream at the moment. In landing. Some of the nursery goes down the SVR at Arley too. Excellent, Bob. Excellent. Always good to be able to do that and boost what you are doing there. There we go. That's set properly now. So we're going to get the sides on, the sole bars. That's the word I was after. But first, we're going to get some bearings in them. I do know what I'm on about, see? We get some bearings in them, get them on, and then we'll run some more solvent along the underside of the wagon or the floor. I don't want 5, I want 4. So that we get a nice solid connection there. So we're going to check these fit, which they will. We know this already from last week. They're just going to drop straight in, no problem. But you always test fit, even when you know. They're on this side of me. And we can pop those out. Get some glue. This is super glue we're using because, of course, we are sticking metal to plastic. We don't want to use the solvent. That's way too much. All that time it wasn't coming out. I squeezed a bit too hard at the end there. That was silly. And there we go. That is all 4 of those bearings fitted in place and stuck nice and easy. And that's what they do. We've now cut the 2 sides out. We were only going to want brakes on one side, which means we only want a V-hanger on one side, but we are leaving it there for now because on both sides, because if we don't, I will stick the brakes on the wrong side. So we'll leave the V-hanger on both sides and remove it the brakes are on. Solvent-based seeds may work there, slightly softening the plastic, on rehardening, lots in the brass surface. I always use a dab of Met Pack. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I suppose that does make sense. Okay, I do have other solvents that are slightly more potent than the Humbrol one here, but the Humbrol one is enough. Let's put it that way. You're out. I thought that was good. That one was gonna go. I could see some lines across the back of it where it had been bent when I was doing the bearings. Other solvents are available indeed. The other one I've got sitting next to me has many more warnings on it than the Humbrol one. And now we're just going to get rid of the bits of sprue around the edge where we've cut it off. I can't ever think of what these are called when it comes to streaming. I'll remember later on. But whilst I'm actually here streaming, I won't. It's revelation when I found that delaminating was good for sticking etched brass ironwork to plastic solder. Laminating seems to soften the plastic more than does Met Pack. Fair enough. What's the difference between a steam trainer and a teacher? One is me in a previous life. Sort of. Can't really say I was a teacher, although I worked at a school and I did teach. I never had the actual teacher qualifications. Steam train goes choo-choo, teacher goes spit the gum out. Oh dear. Terrible. You were a steam train in a previous... Yes, James, I was a steam train in a previous life. Obviously. What did you teach, Shep? I taught computing for a very short while. As I say, I was never actually qualified. But I was under full-time employment of the school and I taught computing. Surely terrible. Oh dear, Linny, that's worse. That's even worse. Bid you good people farewell. Sleep sound in peace, please. Stay safe, folks. Catch up soon. Regards, Bob. Okay, good night, Bob. I look forward to some more updates on what you're getting on with on Cambrian Street through the week. Sleep well, my friend. as discussed last week, with these Slater's kits that POWSides use, everything will line up perfectly. It always does. But you can also, you should also check it, which I do by using the Mark 1 eyeball to make sure we're getting the inside edge of the W irons in line properly with these crossbars on the floor. That's things. One thing to teach computing, quite another to teach children. Yeah, yes, Stephen, quite. No jokes are so bad they become perfect. They're terrible. Oh dear, Linny. Oh dear. See, my life at the school was significantly shorter than I would have liked, but under the circumstances of the time, I could not continue, unfortunately. I would like to think there's an alternate universe version of me out there somewhere that is still working at the school. Because making a difference to kids' lives like that was the most rewarding feeling I have ever got from a job. And I would trade anything for it. What happened? Not for public consumption. Yeah, what happened is not for public consumption. I'm not going to get... I should have done this before putting the sides on. I'm going to have to do it inside now. That was silly. Mark one eyeball, you're showing previous employment with phrases like that. Indeed. Right, thanks for the stream. Nice to meet someone on Circle and ask questions about the LBSCR. It's been great to have you here, Tom. Please do feel free to come back. We stream here every week, 9 PM UK time. And I'm always happy to answer questions about the LBSCR. Especially if, as at least one of yours did, they tie in with articles I'm currently in the process of writing. Also, yes, there is a Discord that you can join with many Brighton modelers, some significantly better than me. And then you can chat all the time. See, it's good Linny remembers to promote these things. This is why I have mods. They're so much better at it than me. Well, it's going well. I'm off to bed. Okay, thank you for coming, Stephen. I say, always great to have you here. Sleep well, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Well worth joining Discord. It's awesome. Thank you, Rob. Good to have people praising it. Now I want to head off to bed too. Okay, good night, Red. Thank you for coming, and we shall speak again soon. Is there any, Rob, would love to see progress on the LSWR wagons? Yeah, what Linny said, Rob. It was nice talking to you proper. Have a good week. And you. Have a good week. Sleep well, etc. I think I'll join the mass exodus as well then. Okay. Good night, Paderborn. Great to have you here. Sleep well. Whilst everyone leaves, I'll remind everyone hydration is important. Make sure you are well hydrated before you sleep. I'll catch you all next week. Yes, indeed. It will be once again good to have you here, as it is always. Just the hardcore Gary fans for the last hour. Looks that way, doesn't it, James? That's all done tonight for you, Lily, on the Discord. Excellent. That's what we like to hear. I will look forward to seeing it once I am done streaming. Should have checked these fit before doing all the solvency stuff quite as much as I did. Yes, they're fine. We get those in place, and with those in place, we add the brake gear because we can make sure then that the brakes are in the right position for the wheels. See, I know words. Good evening, Hayden. How are you? I hope you are well. You join us as we are building up the chassis on this George Giles wagon. It has been going very nicely. We have got the transfers on it and the other one, the Perkins one, so they're all transferred up. We got some varnish on this one, and so we are just building them up, and they are ready to be sent back off. You are good, excellent, glad to hear it. So yeah, we have made, it feels like, quite good progress this evening so far. I hope Matt agrees. That sits in there quite nicely. So a dab of the glue will slot in there even nicer then as it softens. And get it into position. Didn't put any on these uprights, did I? Let's do that. Indeed, very good progress. Will the third wagon be done later or next week? We've still got an hour, so we might get through both of them, Matt. We shall see, and I will drop you a message tomorrow with how far we've got. Good evening, Human City Junction. How are you? Good to see you here. I have not yet had a chance to look through and actually sit down and watch some of your videos, but I really am looking forward to it, having had a quick peek at your channel after you left that comment on my video the other day. Oh, there's lots of amazing content out there. Indeed, yes. So, it's not, I must be off. Okay, thanks for coming, Matt. And so, I'm glad you are happy with how the wagons are going so far. To blame Andy for introducing me to your channel. Excellent. He did drop me a message mentioning you, which was great. It is always good to have new faces. And it is always appreciated when my viewers think enough of me to introduce other people to me. That's not meant to be stuck there. Never sticks the bits you want, does it? I just got a decent set of files and I've been using them instead of sandpaper on my parts. Do you always prefer files to use sandpaper? For small parts, I definitely prefer using files. It really does depend. So most of my modelling, I definitely prefer using files on. But there are some bigger jobs where I can see the advantages of sandpaper. But there is a product I discovered in work the other day, and I cannot remember the name of it, which is annoying. I only discovered it because someone came in after some, and it is kind of halfway between a file and sandpaper. And it looks very interesting for doing rounded surfaces. So I'm ordering some more in so I can try it myself. Flexifile, that's the stuff, Linny. Flexifile. We had one in stock. They were after 2 of every grade they do. And they looked really, really good. So I'm going to get myself some to have a play with for doing things like boilers and roofs and stuff. Nice little piercings or abrasive strip rather than a saw blade. Yeah. No, kind of a mix between fast and sandpaper. But yeah, they look really good. I'd never heard of them before this person came in. So I'm really looking forward to getting some and trying them out. Right. No, it's not time to add the buffers. I was about to say we want to add the hooks first. Once we complete desperate, I use the concrete sidewalk to sand something on. Oh, brilliant. I will not admit it to it, but something similar. Guys, there's something narrow gauge. This is double O gauge, which is slightly bigger than HO. So this is 4mm to the foot. It is, although it runs on HO track, but it's meant to represent standard gauge. Because we're weird in the UK. I do have plenty of narrow gauge as well, though. Yes, you are. Oh. It's true. There's no point trying to deny it. I mean, I'm sitting here streaming at a time that's more convenient to Americans than it is to me, really. No, that's not true. Sort of true. I certainly had American viewers in mind when I picked my streaming times. Okay, that's all right now. No, don't do that now that I've put the solvent on. There we go. Useful for those of us modelling the 4-foot gauge, pain in the neck for everyone else. Well, that's true, isn't it, Killian? Yes. It's interesting to see someone using that kind of plastic cement, used it as a kid, but made a mess of it. Yeah, so I work in a model shop. We have only just reopened from the coronavirus. And we've not restocked yet, so we don't have any of the plastic cement with nice precision applicators. So when I went to get some, this was what I had to get. So it has become a bit of a put it on the card and then apply it using my bit of brass, which is standing in for my pin that I usually use. No, don't miss the hole now. So yeah, it's not ideal, but I've got ways of dealing with it. It's nice, thank you, Ben, and welcome back. It's been a while. Can't be Tamiya Plastic Cement. Love the brush applicator. Yeah, I can see brush applicator. I mean, I've got some solvent for. Yeah, funny you should mention that, Linny. Can't imagine why I ended up bringing that home. I'm saving that though. For an evening with more ventilation. Gone for a while. Yes, you did say you were popping out. Did you get any kitten paint? Not yet, but we do have a decent supply of Vallejo acrylics, which is what I am going to use for the kitten. So it will be coming in the near future, James. Bees stationery shop that carries architectural model wood strips as my main hobby source since lockdown started last year. Yep, that makes sense. I think there's quite a few people over here that have been using similar sources. Go. The buffers on that side. What is kitten paint? Well, quite simply, I have some kittens that need painting that were kindly donated to me by James, and they are absolutely tiny, as you can see there, but I need the right colour paint before I can paint them. And James is quite looking forward to me painting them. He's very much a fan of kittens. And why not? Pressure modeling of camera between your arms. So the camera is on a boom arm, and it comes in above my left hand arm. Sits right in front of my chest, so as I am right now, my chin is directly above the camera. It took a lot of practice working out where was the ideal place for the camera. Of course, it does also mean I can move the camera having it on the boom arm. So it does occasionally get moved because it's in my way. That wagon's built. We've done it. Yay! I think we should chuck some black paint on it. And then get working on the other one. See how far we can get on that. But yeah, I've got used to working around the camera. Yes, you are correct, Linny. Brown soul bars. Just head up, yeah, about 12 minutes from now. Oh yes, so things I forgot. Killian mentioned to me earlier that today happens to be the 35th anniversary of the Chernobyl disaster. And we are now about 12 minutes from the time the reactor went up. Killian suggested to me that it might be nice for us to have a minute's silence in honour of that occasion. I don't want to use that brush, I want to use the little brush. Wagon looking excellent, thank you, Killian. have it being a nice round number anniversary especially, it would be good to do that. I do agree with Killian's suggestion. Don't know how YouTube will take it, but YouTube be YouTube, y'all. Fun fact, on British radio you have to get permission to be silent for that long. You can genuinely lose your transmitting license over it. High school director in Washington DC, several Russian students have been affected by that disaster. Spent a week in our class. They were there for medical treatment and to testify. Oh wow. Interesting. Right, so we'll leave that wagon for now and let that paint dry before putting any black on it. And hope we haven't given Alex a heart attack from not using blue tack. Just so the USSR was ending. Yeah, of course. So of course you're too far away for the direct consequences of it, aren't you? We had so my mum remembers. I don't, for various reasons of not being 35 yet. Shortages of lamb because they slaughtered all the lambs in Wales because they were all contaminated. Radioactive cows here, yeah, all sorts of radioactive animals. But yes, Killian is our instigator of that, for reminding me that today is indeed that day. The bot says hydration is important. So, with that done, and unable to have any more done to it until that paint dries, we'll get on with the other wagon, which of course has the advantage of having a black body, so will all be one colour. One day I will learn. Put the things back where they go, then you'll know where they are when you need to pick them up. That day is not today. That was a lot there. When it's that much, it's easier to take it off with the knife. That's one of my layouts. Third and final emergency stop button. I approve of many emergency stop buttons. And being able to stop the layout in an emergency. Sounds like an important thing to be able to do. There we go, that got that. Make sure I know where that is this time. Programmed to make a klaxon sound when pressed. Excellent. Does it sound like the klaxon on QI? Because that's the klaxon I want it to sound like. Don't know, I haven't a television. Yep, fair enough. It definitely won't, because as QI pointed out once upon a time, their klaxon is not a klaxon. Does it sound like your layout is about to dive in the surface? Air raid siren works well. It would. Dog walk time, glad to catch me. Okay, enjoy your dog walk. I very much approve of dog walks. And I hope you're able to come by again. Hopefully by then I'll have been able to sit and watch some of your content. That is quite brilliant though, James. I love the idea of the emergency stop button playing a klaxon. And there we go, there is that. Both corners are nice and square. Klaxon from the Greek word klasein, meaning to shriek, I assume because the ancient Greeks didn't have a verb for wound. Yes, definitely. Good evening, Thomas. How are you? I hope you are well. You join us just as we are about to go silent for a minute, actually. At the moment that marks, or will mark, exactly 35 years since the Chernobyl reactor went up. You can see Killian there counting us in. Still the joke from a very good video by Technology Connections on klaxons. I don't remember seeing that one. I'm going to have to go look for it. Not right now, obviously. Make sure to turn the captions on. He hides jokes in them. I will do. I make it 23 minutes past. So we are going to go silent for a minute, everyone. Because Chernobyl. And that's 1 minute. Yes. There we are. 35 years ago, that 1 minute changed the world. Yeah, I'm glad you told me he hides jokes in the captions before I watched basically his entire channel, Linny. It's very helpful of you. I'm alright, a bit tired because I've been having a good old time on Game Base with a few mates. Got quite hectic, but was fun. Excellent. Always good to be having fun. I approve of fun. My klaxon sounds like the one in that video. So I must have watched that video because I did binge the whole channel not too long ago. But I don't remember it. So I'm going to have to go and look it up. Thank you, Gary. That's quite all right, Killian. I think it was a wonderful idea you had. And for those that haven't watched it, of course, go and watch the HBO/Sky series on Chernobyl. It's very good. Even if they did use some actors, I'd rather they'd have used actors that at least sounded Russian, even if they did speak in English. But that's just me. I might be in a minority there. In fact, it's so good that even if you have watched it, watch it again. Or I can only do 2, maybe 3 videos after that. The guy's voice gets a bit grating, to be fair. So he says, interesting and informative and can only take so much. Yep, fair enough. As I cut this out, I remember that we never cut the second V-hanger off the other wagon. We should do that before I forget again. There we are. Yeah, that broke. I knew that one would. Nothing a bit of solvent can't fix like it did on the one on the other wagon. Why remove the second one? Surely you need to be there for the brake shoes to work properly. No, because it only has brakes on one side. It's only got brake mechanism on this one side. It does not have anything on the other side at all, because we're nice and early here. But what I do is I leave both V-hangers on until after I've put the brakes on, and that way I can't stick the brakes to the wrong side. It's almost like I think about these things. That one's not looking quite as bent, but it still might give. Painting really is top notch. Thank you, Killian. Very much appreciated. Forwards leave structure temporary of the operating levers. The more you know. No, not until it's not needed until after they started adding levers on the other side. So the whole time there's only the lever on the one side, you don't need it. If there were levers on both sides, you would. And there's a link to the Discord, which of course was mentioned by Linny earlier. Don't promote that Discord nearly enough, but it's got so many members these days. More people on that than ever watch this. But there's not used to seeing single-sided brakes. Well, no, that's fair. That is completely fair. Most people wouldn't be, really. So we test fit these again, even though we've done it twice and we know they're going to fit. That one has now given up. And we'll need that needs a bit more poured out. There we go. I like all the cat pictures on Discord. Yeah, I thought you would, James. Even Okimura posted one of Friendly Tabby recently. I've posted 2 recently, James. No brake shaft in the wagon. If the wagon had bottom doors either, as it would get in the way of doors swinging downwards, it had to have 2 sets of completely independent brakes. Good point, Linny. Look at all these weird examples. Would the brakeman have to walk both sides of the train to set the brakes? I suppose it theoretically, yes. No, there's a tiny bit of it left there, but not quite enough. The smoothest bearing fittings I've seen in ages. This is the joys of Slater's kits, Thomas. They are amazing. Everything just fits perfect every time. I have never had an issue with fit or alignment on any Slater's kits that wasn't caused by me. And I'm not the only one that would tell you that either. But I still test fit every time, just in case. Really good. Thank you, Hayden. We'll have to have a wee look at some point. Been meaning to get some more wagon kits. Well, their 4mm stuff is now slowly reappearing, so it's definitely worth looking into. They do some very nice Midland stuff. Very nice indeed. So let's get a bit more of the solvent out, and we're going to put the lid on this time. We want to apply it along here. And on the ends. And we want to remember to put it on these bits this time. So as we discussed last time, when these go in here, they will fit, they will be absolutely perfect. There will be no issues with the wheels, but we use the good old Mark 1 eyeball to check the alignment between this side of the W hanger and this cross brace. You mean very nice Midland stuff? Something being Midland is basically a kiss of death. Not at all. Slater's stuff is very nice. That Midland brake van I linked you to on eBay all those years ago is Midland. These are Slater's. God, that seems like forever ago, doesn't it? And you cannot tell me that that was not a very nice bit of stock, Alex. Yes, it's a nice kit, but it's Midland. Yeah, and Midland is great. That's why I'm building a Midland layout as well. And now, so, to make my point even more about these wagons, I've not tested these wheels. I've just stuck them straight on. But there we go. Wheels sitting there beautifully. And roll beautifully. Midland forever. You tell him, Thomas. So now we want to add the brake gear and the brakes. I do wonder sometimes as to why Slater don't do Formula Loco wheels or kits or what have you. Would be nice to have alternatives to the Dapol kits, I feel. Well, I mean, there's no they don't do Formula Loco wheels because there's enough out there already. It wouldn't be worth their while to compete when you've got, you've got Gibson, you've got Scale Link, you've got Ultra Scale. How many do you need out there making the same things? And once again, like, there you go, the brakes just slot in and hold themselves perfectly in place. Add a little dab of solvent. And put them back in. But yeah, there's no point in making something that that the market's already got more than enough people making stuff for it. But Slater's wheels are always brilliant, at least O-gauge ones. Yes, they are. My O-gauge LNER A4 has Slater's wheels, or will have when it's built. I've got the wheels for it. They are brilliant. But so are Gibson's in double O. And Scale Link. And Romford's. There's so many out there. How many do you need? Love Minis version of the O-gauge wheels are, don't they? Are good. But we've already got double O-gauge wheels that are good. There we go. There's that. So it's just the buffers and the coupling hooks to add to this kit now. And then that is this kit kitted. We'll add the coupling hooks first. And yes, I do believe that's the correct term before anyone says anything. Doesn't feel all that long ago. I was doing this for the other one we've done tonight. But the problem here is when we've painted it, paint has got in here so it doesn't quite fit anymore. Which again, not a problem with the kit, that's a problem I've caused. Oh, don't drop it, that's just silly. But as you know, we don't lose anything on this live stream. Doesn't matter how small it is. It's good to have more than one maker of important art. In the US, we're almost lost the main source gearboxes for scratch building because he wanted to retire. There's not time to find someone to take over. No, that is certainly a shame. It's like we do already have multiple manufacturers of wheels. In 4mm. I don't think Slater's coming down and doing 4mm stuff as well would really add to the market. No, you were in there. Darn it. There we go. And there is a link to Facebook, which means we must only have 15 minutes left to get this wagon finished. The downside of painting before building. No, that did not do it. There was not enough there. There we go. That is the coupling hooks in. So with 10 minutes left, we have the buffers to add, and that is it for this wagon. Then it just needs painting. Do you like the way it states, mate? The wheels easy to quarter. So Scale Link do that. In 4mm. And so do Markets. And Romford. So we're quite well served for easy to scale, easy to quarter wheels in 4mm. Being in 7mm, I'm not as familiar. Yes, obviously. So, do we have... Yeah, those ones are quite easy to see it all on. Certainly easier than those ones. I have my Chatham D-Class sat up here. Take the tender off. And you can see I've got they're screwed in with the special Markets screwdriver, and behind that the hole in the wheel and the end of the axle are square, so they are very nice and easy to quarter. For Gibsons, I've got a special tool for quartering them, because Allen Gibsons are not easy to quarter. They are very much round peg in a round hole. And there we go. There is that done. We have nearly 10 minutes left and the wagons are built. It does look like I shall be saying to Matt tomorrow, here is a picture of your finished wagons. I hope you like them. No, you're not the one I want. You're definitely not the one I want. You're bigger. You're the one I want. So now we want black below the sole bars on this wagon, which has had plenty of time to sit and dry. And also on the ironwork, as there is still ironwork on the chassis. Rather we didn't drop it actually. There's probably a few bits I'm going to have to touch up. I can see a couple of areas already. But I think I shall be doing those off stream and getting these back to Matt this week. Can't believe I've got to do the axle box on the other side. I'm just looking at that now before anyone points it out. Around the buffers and the couplings as well. And then so she is now very nearly done. We always make sure with things below the chassis, like the brake gear, that we paint the back of it as well. Because of course you can see it from this side. Yep, thank you, Andy. Don't want to be watching your train of wagons go past and see the unpainted back of the brake gear. I want to put a bit more paint on the corner there. Can see a seam. Oh yes, that was something I also wanted to do, was touch up the paint on the corners. You are quite right. I did mention that earlier. I just forgot because, well, have you met me? So I'm sure there will be a few little spots to touch up, but I shall do those tomorrow. This is going to be the last live stream featuring Matt's wagons. Not in person, no, yet. Fair, but you know what I mean. And there we are. That is that wagon wagoned. And we've only a couple of minutes to go until we finish. Well, I'm going to touch up this corner for you, Thomas. Does that make you happy? Before I even start on the rest. Just for you. What time does the stream end? In a couple of minutes. It is midnight UK time, which is just about to happen. Jump corner makes me very happy. Good. Glad to hear it. I think we'll run a couple of minutes late this evening as we get this paint on here and we can look at a finished wagon. It's not often we run late, but I feel this is worth it because it is now midnight and we're so close to having the wagon done. I don't want to put it down with half a chassis left to paint and say, nope, that's it, we're not doing any more. Because, of course, if I then send this off to Matt, I can't put it in the background next weekend for you to all admire the finished job. Whilst we get on with another project I was commissioned to do. Well worth the extra effort. Thank you, Rob. Remember to smash the like button, says the bot. This reminds me actually when I compare from out what bearings and wheels to use, I may well stream making draw each other efforts here. RMOs give me various answers to contemplate. Excellent. Excellent. You should definitely do that. Provided you're not going to have all the lag in the world again, obviously. Because that lag was bad. There we go. That is all of the corners touched up now. I've not cut the V hanger off on this side. Oh no. Yeah, there's no way that brake gear is covered properly. I'll do it tomorrow. I nearly forgot that W iron there. And there we go. One finished wagon, everybody. One finished set of wagons. Hopefully I've got the baggage out. Might have to temporarily turn off the EMC port board, see if that sorts it. Hopefully it will. So yes, thank you for joining me this evening, everyone. I've had a great time. It is good to have Matt's wagons finished, ready to go back to him. As I say, I'm sure there's a few bits I'll have to touch up before they do go back. But it does mean that we get a new project next weekend. And I feel that our 5 minutes over was very worthwhile, but it is of course that time now where we all want to head to bed. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. You have been excellent as always. I've had a really good time. I'm glad to see so many faces here tonight. We had really good viewer numbers, so thank you for that, everyone. Pumpkin tea already? Indeed, Javier. So yes, what's left for me to say is I've been Gary, this has been Let's Build. You've been awesome as always. Good night.